Okay.
1 second.
There, I'm here. I am present.
Oh, you're
But we don't have your
Yes.
mic yet, so we have to go live while
Oh,
doing a
man.
mic check for Cole.
Seriously?
Yes.
Check.
We run
check,
a
check,
tight
check,
shift.
Check, 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 check,
There
check.
she is.
Yeah.
She is.
I'm right here.
Yeah, I think everything is going to be fine here. Because while we talk, we're like right at the bottom. I'll pull myself down a little bit. Alrighty.
Yeah, I took mine off. Like, I can't see, but I don't need to see for a podcast.
Yeah, it's just an audio thing.
Yeah. Oh, good. We could be blind together.
Yeah, go ahead. Go, Taylor.
Oh my god.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Crack it open.
Oh god, I wasn't prepared.
Oh, so I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at that.
Alright. Welcome
Sorry,
back,
I
everybody.
went through the wave.
You're listening to another episode of Cruisin The Planet. I'm your host, Ethan Miller. Almost went into a KTRL script again.
Oh
Nice.
god.
My brain is so tired.
That isn't even your day. Today isn't even your day for that.
This week, but I've done it 3 times this week. This week, you are joined by...
Taylor.
Cole.
Rissa.
Yeah!
Best crew.
Up top, quick announcement. The Brazos Drive-In is having another double feature this weekend. They're doing Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas. How are we feeling about those?
I actually have not seen Hocus Pocus.
Me neither.
What?
Really?
What?
Okay.
That's good.
He hadn't seen it either.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
But have you seen Pumpkinhead?
No.
No,
It's good.
that is not.
Nice.
Have you seen Spookly?
Spookly?
Spookly.
The pumpkin.
Oh, that sounds so cute.
No, mine's about a demon.
Well, mine was about a square pumpkin that learns that all colors and shapes are okay.
Oh.
A lot of inclusion over
That's
there.
something I would see.
On this
That
end,
sounds really cute.
a lot of terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of horrible things on this side of the wall. Welcome back, everybody. This week we have ourselves... I actually went ahead of schedule and, did a bit of research. So we got a lot of Tarleton news, and then I even have an article
Ooh.
from the Washington Post.
Whoa.
So
Dude.
academic.
I know, right?
It's almost like we're in college.
So
No
yeah,
way.
it's almost like I'm getting a degree.
That's what this is?
Guys,
So,
sometimes I'm
well,
like, do I actually
technically.
have one of those? And I do.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
You
That's
got a
amazing.
full-on degree.
Yeah.
I'm
Piece of paper
jealous.
that's hanging on my wall that I paid.
Expensive
too
piece
much
of paper.
money.
Yeah.
But it's embossed, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's the good
That's
stuff.
it.
That's the good stuff right there.
I actually told some of the workers here that I put it, not here, but in the administration office that I put it in a frame and it's on my wall. And they're
Mhm.
like, oh, mine's sitting in a box somewhere.
What?
How could you pay that much money for
Right,
something
yeah.
and not frame it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure at a certain level they've moved houses or out of an apartment and are like, there's no need to pull this out of storage. It's
I would
fine.
just keep it in a frame though.
Yeah. It is staying on the wall when I give it.
Nah.
A piece of paper costs a lot of money.
Ooh.
And we all get a message at the same time?
Yeah.
Little extra volume on everybody, it says.
Oh, I see.
We have Lance in the sort of backseat production. He's listening into the episode. Hello, Lance.
Hello.
Oh,
That's our station manager. He's in charge of everything. He's all-knowing. I think, what was the last conspiracy? Yeah, Andy Santa Claus, I think, was our last conspiracy that when Brendan used to work here that we had.
really?
Yeah, it was pretty great. Anyways, the Texan Commitment Care Kits, our COVID-19 kits at the Student Center, are all still available. I believe we were walking through yesterday, me and Carly, for Carly's video about Alien getting fired. Check that out next Friday. And you can still pick them up at the front desks. I've seen a couple of people already wearing them, so I assume that they're getting close to short supply. So, Tarleton students, though they are available at the front desk of the Student Center, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Sundays through Fridays, and then 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturdays, except for October 3rd and the 24th. So you're good for about, let's say, a week, 2 weeks.
Really cool.
If you're at the Fort Worth campus, then you can head over to Suite 318, and they are open from 9 a.m. to noon and 1 to 8 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays to pick up. And if you're in Waco, you can go to the MAC or MAC building. I'm not entirely sure. Come correct me in some sort of comment form. Come find me on social media, or drive over to Stephenville, you fiend. But you can pick those up in MAC 108, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays. That has been the PSA section of the show.
Oh,
Now let's move in. Let's move into. Thank you. Slam poetry.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, is that coming out? Has that already come out? Do you want to talk about it?
It's already out.
It should
Yes.
be. Yeah.
Already out.
Yesterday.
That was.
Last week there was a live diversity dialogue here on Tarleton's Stephenville campus. It discussed slam poetry and kind of the relationship between slam poetry culture and the LGBTQ plus community. And just kind of how they intermingle. It was really interesting. You'll get to actually hear some slam poetry on that live dialogue.
Yeah, on the back end.
Yeah, it's just bonus content for making space. Yeah, our podcast.
Yeah, it's just an extra episode, something that you are allowed privy to every once in a while, only whenever we can physically get Cole and I into studio to get it recorded remotely. It's because it's always a product.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like a process.
It is, but it is really worth it. I really enjoyed the speaker who did this live dialogue, and I think hopefully she's going to come back on and talk about some of her Latinx heritage and stuff.
Warning for your ears, there is a cuss word.
Oh, yes, it's in Spanish.
It's in Spanish, so if you don't know Spanish, you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
I found that's usually how that works,
Our curse words.
to be completely honest. Next big thing. Do we want to talk about a Tarleton thing, or do we want to move into how masks are changing how we see each other because of masks?
That seems like a long conversation. Should we do Tarleton things first?
We can do Tarleton things
I feel
first.
Like the math thing's gonna be a minute.
That's all right. Tarleton has a new Texas rider. Tarleton's new 2020 to 2021 Tarleton Texas rider, Walker Kirk. Kirk, right? Unfortunately, it's his last name, not the first name.
Oh.
So Kirk was excited. Walker is a junior in the agribusiness major from Sidney, Texas, and his favorite Tarleton tradition is the purple poo. This was sourced from the TSU cheerleading Facebook page.
Oh, cool.
So, we have a Texan rider. I know that...
We had one previously. I guess he graduated over the summer, I think.
I swear I just saw him at the Purple Out picnic.
We might have come back because,
but he was wearing like a cheer outfit.
Oh.
Unless he just didn't want to do riding anymore. Or he's got a doppelganger. I really don't know.
A doppelganger?
I didn't get to
watch
talk to
this
him.
Texan rider look exactly like the previous one.
Yeah. He was not
We can go get a picture of him real
Yes.
quick. Let me
Yes,
go
I
on
want to know.
Facebook.com, the place
previous
that
Texan
knows.
rider just like kind of hung out at Venture because he's an RL, and like the
Oh, jeez, I need login information.
previous RHD
Never mind.
was over
All right.
all of them.
Pretty sure he's got like dirty blonde hair.
No.
But that's all.
Not him then. No. The previous guy had like dark
Dark hair.
brown,
What's his
black
name?
hair. I forgot.
Eli?
Yes.
Eli,
That's it.
yep.
That's it. He used to come talk to me a
No,
lot. when we
so
were on the
turns
field
out
being drum
they
major.
did not clone Eli and
Oh,
redecorate him for this go around. Sorry
That
to.
would have been cool.
That
would be a fun conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's like there's one man on campus who's always been here.
Yes.
Lee actually went to duck camp and was like in the same duck camp group as Eli.
Aw.
What does the Texan rider do? Sorry to bear my ignorance
Yeah, no, I have
to
no
the group.
idea. I'm sorry, I'm over here like, oh, yeah.
Awesome,
Oh.
sick,
That's
nice.
Me too.
Well,
He rides around.
he's technically
Sick.
so we're the
Awesome.
Tarleton Texans, but he's the mascot. So that's why like the old logo before they changed it to the T inside of Texas, it was a picture of like a cowboy on his horse. It's the Texan rider. So yeah, whenever we're at football games before the team runs out, he's like in the middle of the field, like because the band kind of makes this hallway. We call it a tunnel T. I think it's been a hot minute since marching band.
Yeah.
COVID. But anyway, we make a tunnel T, and then that's where the football team runs through. So when they run through in the middle, there's the Texan Rider, and he's like waving the flag around, kind of dancing. Oh. So they run through us, and then like he's there.
Just topple you over.
I'm sure he has a lot of stuff to do with like homecoming.
Yeah. He's at everything.
Rider always been a man?
No, we had a girl. I think my freshman year.
All right, that's cool.
Sick.
I just want to make sure there's some equality there.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was pretty cool. But then I think that was the one right before Eli was a girl. Okay. Yeah, but they're at everything too. They're just like, like the purple poo or the cheer. They're just like at everything. And stuff. Yeah, they're there. It's fun. Yeah, like whenever there's a touchdown.
We have a lot of those things. Have you noticed that?
What?
I mean, we have the Purple Poo, we have the Plowboys, we have Pankus, we have the Texan Rider, we have Oscar P. Like, the homecoming corps.
We got a lot. Yeah.
The president of the class, whatever it is.
We have that Jotun that lives underneath campus.
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
That's funny. Yeah, but like whenever there's a touchdown, they have the usually the cheer guys. Yeah. They'll carry the flags, and each one has a letter. In front of them, the rider is holding the flag.
Okay, cool.
Usually.
So he doesn't like jangle the opponent mascot and just hop up on the head and just go crazy.
Only when necessary.
When necessary. Sick. I want to see those procedures. I want to get a flare gun, get it all set up.
I love it when
just see him bust out in the field.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Oh, it's good. That's why I watch hockey games, actually. Oh my goodness! Other day, I head over to a street fight. Hockey game broke out. Crazy stuff. That's an old joke. That's an old joke. Texas A&M is possibly going to have a 1 or 2 day spring break to discourage extensive travel.
Yeah, I heard that they were going to cancel spring break. At least, you know what? I think it was A&M Commerce isn't going to have a spring break.
Yeah, I noticed that there were a couple of colleges who were saying spring break, no deal, no dice.
So does that mean we're getting out early?
They gave us, there's a couple of things that they're going to adjust that. They're going to shift the entirety of the semester back into itself so that you can get out. We have the chance to get out early in the event that no closings have to happen, of course, because the longer we're in college, obviously the higher risk constantly that
the numbers are going up like crazy.
A large spreading event people are starting to get crazy, man. Yeah. So I think some students are getting cabin fever. I think you and I were there last night along with Carly and Jake at the s'more event.
The Midnight S'mores.
Midnight S'mores. Started at 10. When did they run out of s'mores?
10:30.
Yeah.
Wow. Not many people. Kidding.
They were entirely out of s'mores at 10:30. There were copious amounts of people out at the event. Great turnout. Amazing turnout for an event. There were so many people.
Yeah, they had a lot of their s'more stations very close to one another. Honestly, what I would have done was have some of them over by the library, where they all were, and then some of them by the admin building, maybe by the Tarleton statue, just have them more spread out, but they didn't.
Right.
So they didn't use all of that lawn; they just kind of squished them. And I know it was supposed to be Dr. Hurley's thing, so it had to be by the Trogdon House, but I think they could have had a better time with spatial stuff.
I don't think they took into consideration or expected it to be so much larger than last year. Because last year it was kind of just a standard, relatively small event. Everyone was worn out from all the other Spirit Week things that were going on, all the other homecoming stuff. This was one of the few events that was open.
It was the last one.
And it's the last one, so everyone's kind of funneled, for Stephenville campus specifically. Everyone's kind of funneled in. Right? To it's the last one. Then, a lot of other events have been canceled, so each event is even more of an excuse to get out and do something, which I think a lot of people are looking for right now, especially a lot of the students who are stuck in the dorms. I could imagine that you're getting some Among Us level treachery between people of I think you're a lizard. I don't think you understand things.
A little sus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I genuinely think a couple of people are getting cabin fever and people are getting a little goofy.
Yeah, I'm tired of quote unquote tired of the masks. I barely saw any last night, to be honest.
Which makes sense. It's an event where you eat So at a certain level, I get that.
Everyone was eating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is true.
And it was outside, but you couldn't socially distance.
Yeah.
So that was
Unfortunately, the event was a smash hit. However, like, big concerns, everyone is starting to get into, like, oh, geez, like, college, like, because, looking at a couple of facts, spring break cracked open last year, and we haven't returned since. So perhaps this is truly for the best to, like, cut away spring break. That way it sort of dissuades extensive travel, like last year when there was all the extensive travel. To be completely honest, personally I see this as a benefit, as like only a good thing.
I can see it as a good thing, but also it's like you can't control people traveling anyways. Like there's still people.
You think there may be students who are just like, I'm not going to go to class.
It's online.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Those people were going to go anyways. When it comes to like, we talk about this a lot in microeconomics of all places, where you use taxes and like minor incentives to dissuade certain activity.
Yeah.
You want to put a small hindrance to get the people who are not as invested, and usually you have a larger population. Not everyone is 100% one thing or another. Everyone exists within a gradient of wants and needs. So how many people want to go to spring break? How many people need to go to spring break, right? How many people don't? All of those little groups, you start putting up barriers, walls, and checks little by little, and you create this funnel for the people who are always going to go. They were always going to make it through them, come hell or high water. The people who are less invested will go all the way up to the last step. The people less invested in them will go up to the second to last step, so on and so forth. I think this is going to cut the fat, really, when it comes to a super spreader event potentially cracking back open, and then everyone coming back to college and just wiping out the second semester.
I can see that.
Because we don't have a long recovery time after winter break. You know what I mean?
It's supposed to spread faster in cooler weather, too.
Everyone's inside. That makes sense.
I just worry about people, like, going and doing stuff anyways.
Yeah.
Just in general, not like, oh, that should or shouldn't be a thing. Because, people get fed up. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're doing it anyways already.
I mean, we already are moving, like, homecoming and all the other homecoming events to the spring.
Mm-hmm.
So even
all
just
of the sports.
Here, not even considering spring break, we'll have big events happening next semester.
Right.
Right after we come back from family time.
But in the winter break and whatnot, uncontrolled situation. I sound so dystopian, like an absolute cop from like Cyberpunk, where it's just like you can't control the vectors of the population unless you give them like a degrading wall effect where you can funnel them into various groups, and then you can control those various social classes. Like, I'm not saying good or bad, I'm just saying that's how those systems function. Systems of information and people. Because technically that's the other half of my degree, Cole.
I ain't saying nothing anymore. I got like a real beating the last time I said anything. So.
I in no way intended that to happen. That wasn't. Let's move on.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the masks, though, seeing as we're kind of on that topic a little bit?
Yeah,
Sure.
Alright, I pulled up this article by the Washington Post that caught my eye because Lance has been experiencing a lot of this in the office as well. Actually, I think right before we were talking about doing a couple more staff events just to be able to see people without masks. And in the style section of Washington Post, of all places, masks are changing the way we look at each other and ourselves. Basically, this cracks open with a verbal explanation of how, makeup in the post-pandemic world is completely changed.
Yeah.
There's a lot more focus on eye makeup, a lot more focus on getting your hair becoming more of a part of things. You're no longer worried about your lips whatsoever. Yeah. That's a waste. You're not super worried about, you're putting more attention into the things that the masks don't cover, and then deciding what mask to put on with things. And then, so if we move, like, farther into the article, you find a lot of people. Here's the artist they're talking about. Nice double color, like, very fanned out, right? A lot of people are talking about, in consideration when it comes to masks, there's a lot of people who are noticing that the masks are cutting back a lot of the social laws and rules that humans are following. Some examples are certain people are a lot easily profiled. For instance, like someone who has more characteristically feminine features, who are presenting feminine features, are almost immediately seen as more gentle and more or less hostile versus someone who is like covered with a mask and presents like incredibly masculine features of like the low brow, wide shoulders, tall, and moving like these. It becomes difficult, and I think I've heard a couple people say it's like, I don't know if anyone's smiling.
Yep.
I don't know when people are smiling.
Like rely on your body language more.
Yeah.
You gotta talk with your hands.
The ghost.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to join in.
Station ghost.
Like, talk with your hands more.
Yeah.
I've noticed, like, I've made an active effort to, like, gesture more.
Yes.
Almost like I'm on stage.
Yeah.
Like, gesture bigger. And, like, bigger eye movements. That's
Yeah, whenever I smile, I have to, like
squint.
make my eyeballs
Yeah.
get smaller, so people realize, like, oh, your cheeks are raising, like, you must be smiling.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is that, like, I didn't really know any of y'all, and except for Taylor, really, like, what y'all looked like when I started working here. So I kind of just, like, I noticed, like, I made faces up, like, in my head of what I imagined you to look like.
Yeah.
And then now, every time I kind of, like, see a glimpse of, like, Ethan or Cole, like, without their mask on, I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
That's what their face looks like?
Oh my
that's
goodness.
not what I put
Yes.
in my
Right.
head.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this with my roommate last night.
Yeah.
On how, like, you know, your brain wants to put together the rest of the
Their
other
face.
person's face.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of, like, I was talking about somebody who I knew, who I had never seen, you know, under the mask, and they had kind of a sharper jawline right about here, but then everyone's gets rounded out. So you don't really know. You don't know what their nose looks like. You can kind of guess by the top. You don't know their mouth. You don't know anything. Like, you know, and the guy I'm talking about, he took his mask off once, and it was safe, and I was just like, it was almost like it was somebody different. Yeah. Because I thought he had a sharper jawline from the little glimpse of it, and it actually, like, kind of was more of like a squared kind of shape, and you know, his nose, like, flared out a little bit more than what my brain made up. Yeah. And it was just like, whoa, a completely different person. Yeah. It took me a minute to be like, oh, like, that's the guy I knew. Yeah. You know, it's just
he's always been that way too.
Yeah, and we were talking about, like, can you imagine the professors? Like, because we know one professor that we haven't seen. Most of the time, like, we know our, like, the kids in the class or students. And, but, like, they don't know what any of us look like. If they hadn't met us before.
Yeah. Well, I think Zoom classes make that a little bit easier, actually. I've noticed that professors are easily recognizing. I've noticed professors where sometimes I can't make it to class because I, like, need to eat lunch, Ethan, you animal. So I'll run back to my apartment, I'll eat, and then I'll be watching the class in the Zoom meeting instead. That way I'm not running everywhere like I did last semester, which was insane. But, like, we talked about this on another episode, one of the benefits of having online classes. The professor is able to recognize me because they've seen me in class, I've been interacting, and then also I've been in the Zoom when they can see my face, and they can recognize, like, the whole thing. So I feel like if you wanted if you're a person who needs that, like, personal connection with your professors, you definitely have to, like, find a way to do that.
Yeah, I kind of do both. I show up to some classes, and then sometimes I'll do Zoom. Because I think it's kind of nice, like, so he can look at the class and see, you know, are we confused? Are we smiling? Did we laugh at his joke? You know, and then in person, we could be smiling about his joke, and he'll never know. So I really only go to class if there's something that I really need to talk to them about.
Raise your hand and, like, make that the question for the day.
Or there's something I definitely, like, have a lot to talk about, or at least a couple of comments, you know, then I'll make an effort to show up to class, like, in person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm just there, like, kind of for lecture or maybe one question or two, I usually Zoom, just so that way, like, he can see us and we can see him, and I don't know, it's kind of a good thing to do Zoom for that aspect of it.
It's also nice when, like, something comes up that you're not expecting, and, like, you can't necessarily make it in person.
Yeah,
you have to, like,
it's
be
really
watching
nice.
something, or I don't know, so.
I did hear that they might be phasing out the asynchronous next semester, though. So that'll be a little interesting for some students. It might be better. It might be a little harder for some.
What is the asynchronous? Is that when you're not?
That's when you're not watching it live, but you're watching the recording later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are a lot of people doing that?
I did it one time. I just, like, really could not be there at all. And, so, I mean, I felt kind of bad about it, because you still kind of feel like you're skipping, although you're going to watch it and do it all, like, maybe an hour from now. So I emailed them, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I plan to do this asynchronously. Like, I'll have it done by tomorrow. And the professor I emailed about was very accepting. He's like, oh, yeah, totally. Like, that's cool.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is nice, because if something does pop up, like, where you really, really can't, and they do keep a record. Like, you have to watch all the way completely through the video till the end until you can get actual attendance credit.
Got it.
You can't skip around, and you can't end it early. So, I mean, it's not like you're skipping and then skipping through it or something. You know, even if you're skipping, you do have to watch it to get credit.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like I should start doing a little more of the asynchronous stuff, like dip my toe into that a little bit more, just because my schedule is so hectic and, like, so much. Like, it's fine because I'm so used to having to, like, force my schedule around something else, but it might be easier if I can be like, hey, asynchronous. So I'm gonna, like, everything will get done just 4 hours later than it should have been, and that's the only way I can do it. But if it's going away soon, is that just a rumor, or do you know?
I don't know for sure. I just heard it. I'm thinking it's like a rumor happening.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly though.
I think, like,
I hope they don't get rid of the Zoom aspect completely though.
That wouldn't make very much sense.
Yeah.
I don't
Not
know,
until
like,
the vaccine is out at minimum.
Yeah.
I wonder if some of the professors, like, don't really like the asynchronous.
They don't.
I don't think they do.
There's a
because
lot
they
who
kind of
don't
like,
care.
I don't know. They're really, like, wanting discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but
Well, they're just as locked in as all of us. That's kind of one of the weird things. This is an equalizing event. The professors are locked in just as much as the students are locked in, and the workers are locked in. Everyone's socially isolating, socially distancing, keeping themselves, you know, boxed in from other people. Everybody's kind of boxed in right now, and yet, like, tensions are only building.
Yeah.
That's why I'm rather concerned about how this spring break might affect things moving forwards, is because you go away for spring break, you come back, nothing, like, a break usually is like a reprieve of the mundane and continuous things. So, like, you get out, but what are you going to do for spring break? What do y'all have planned?
I never do anything for spring break. I just rest.
Are you okay? Hey, rest is good. I'll take a big nap.
Yeah.
I mean, I will have a lot of planning for a specific event happening next year, so lots of stuff I have to finish before then.
I think we need to take some time on that event as well, probably. Just because I'm highly involved in that.
Yes.
You, Taylor?
I am trying to save up. I am broke. So
same.
I'm saving like a teeny bit every week, and I have like an end goal. And I even took Christmas out on how much I want to like spend on presents and things. So I'm still like saving up for it. But there's like a kind of private hot springs out in Colorado. And yeah, I wanted to get like a group of my friends together. We've already been talking about it, and we were just gonna like all go, and there's like a really big hotel room that we could all just split, and it's cheaper than if we each individually got our own rooms. So we were just gonna hang out in this like mansion of a hotel and go, and when you are like in the hotel, the hot springs are free the whole time, and then you get like one complimentary spa day, and then after that you just pay for the it's like nice, but it's not that horrible. I only have 3 people so far. So the 3 people
so far
that
we're gonna hear about this group
really
of 16 absolutely decimating Colorado.
Yeah, sounds good, but like
16.
it would just get cheaper.
That's true.
So with our 3, it was like $800. But I mean, that's not horrible because you stay in this, and it was for the whole week.
Yeah.
So for a whole week, you're really nice. You get free hot springs 24/7. The really nice hotel room that we were looking at.
That's so relaxing.
Yeah, there's actually like a private hot springs in the back, like just for you and your room. And there's like 2 bathtubs, and there's just like a spa bathtub like in the hotel. So like it's nice. I'm trying to save up money, but that was my spring break because it's like really it's outside, and you know you have to make reservations for everything. And they've
already taken the time to like isolate the groups.
Definitely, like they completely cleaned everything there is to clean, and they have a whole page on their website talking about everything they've done for COVID. So it feels very safe to want to go.
That is some high end stuff.
That's so exciting, man.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen, but because I'm broke.
Yeah.
I can barely go to Walmart and get my groceries. So
are you okay?
Like 2 more people.
Huh?
You get like 2 people.
Yeah. Maybe that group of 16 crashing into Colorado.
Yeah.
Everyone pays like $20 at the end of it. There's so many people. I mean, I could bring a cot.
Right, bunch of sleeping bags.
Yeah.
Bring those like prop up hammocks.
Well, you gotta be worried about that actually.
I know, probably.
You want to faint because of that like hot water.
Yeah.
It's actually a real worry.
I've fainted once, and from hot water.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It was like, hotter than usual, and I was like, that's okay, I'll adjust. And then I realized I was watching one of my shows. And
while in the hot tub?
It was a bathtub.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, and
set your computer or
I have one of those. Yes, I have one of those little things that like goes across the bathtub.
Oh, so smart. Yes.
I got a glass of wine, some snacks, and then I was watching my show, and I watched one episode, and I was like, well, this is nice. I don't want to get out and watch another episode. But glass of wine plus really hot water plus 2 hours worth of show.
You were in a bathtub for 2 hours?
Yes, haven't you ever been
Sometimes you need it. But yeah.
What?
And then
just chill, man.
I stood up way too quickly, and I instantly was on the floor. I was like, oh, no. Wow. It's okay.
I'm in there to clean. What are you doing?
I got my.
You reserved a spot.
Yeah. I have little like rose petals that I save and I put in there. I put a little bath bomb, some bubbles.
Love it.
You get like those I light all my candles.
What?
I have I always set up I have those wood candles that I only burn them during my bath time because even if I just play like subtle like meditation music in the background, it smells like a fire.
Me and Rissa over here like, huh?
2 hours.
2 hours, huh?
Yeah, you just refill it when it gets cooler.
Yes, exactly.
What?
Yeah. You can stay in there for a long time. Mm-hmm.
Do you get pruny?
I'm there to clean, man. Like.
Well, that's what you take your arms out to have like your sip of wine or.
Yeah, you just
I had some popcorn.
Like your toes though.
But then you can prop your toes out of the water and and that's when you like sink your upper body in.
My showers are like 2 minutes minimum, 5 minutes tops. Like we don't have the.
Just take one of your spooky books, turn off the lights, and just have some candles.
No, I've literally never taken a bath since I was like 4.
If I brought you a bath bomb, would you use it and take a bath?
Yeah, I would use it, and I do it wrong because I don't know how.
You just fill the water and you just drop it in.
2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, we went to the farmer's market, and that's the first time I ever bought nice soap.
Wow.
Like, we don't have the money or the time for this type of stuff, y'all. What's going on here?
That is good, but Walmart does have some cheap bath bombs.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true. And they're pretty good.
You can get those, like,
what do I do with it, then?
Bombs.
Do I just leave it? Why are we doing this?
It fizzes, and it goes, and it...
Yeah, and then it makes you, like, it moisturizes your skin.
Soft.
And if you get lavender ones, it kind of makes you, like, relax and kind of sleepy. And you go to bed after.
So good. So good.
Yeah. Just read your book with, like, one of those, like, cool black and red bath bombs.
Now I need a bath.
Okay. Okay, I got you there.
Lush made this one year that was a coffin, and it was black on the outside and sparkly.
I'll take an all black bath bomb, yeah.
They're pretty cool. I like the one that's supposed to look like a galaxy, and they put like that shimmery stuff, and it's like dark blue and purple.
I like their bubble bars.
There's a gin drink that does that.
I've used bath bombs before, and they're cool, but like I don't like the way that they get your bathtub kind of dirty.
Oh, they get my bathtub dirty?
Like clean up some of the
That's
ones.
my job.
Well, like the darker ones.
Bad ones. I've never had
one.
I had it happen like once.
Oh, okay.
It was like a dark one though.
Well, like,
you
do you have like a ceramic, like, and metal tub, or do you have a like just plastic?
I got one of the cheap plastic,
Yeah.
the white ones.
Yeah.
Just
The
a
ones that
fiberglass one.
Yeah.
I haven't played with them.
You sure are. You're having a good
I
time.
had to have something in my hands or else I would get too fidgety. So.
You good?
Yeah.
Do you need to take a break? You can
You
leave.
ever tried those fidget cubes?
I should.
I
Like,
feel like those are
a
just
friend of mine
fun.
has one. I need to get. Hey, my birthday's coming up.
I actually
Yeah.
learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube with one hand for that express reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can get all the way till the very last part where I have to get it lined up in a little cross,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can't do it. I can't get it into
that-
the cross. I can get the L, and
Oh.
then I'm done.
Oh, that part's easy. You just do it again. You do the same algorithm again. You just have to recognize which peg to do it off of.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Super sick.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna take a bath and try my Rubik's Cube.
Right, then drop it in the water.
Oh no.
I got really close with my Rubik's Cube one time when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and I had it for like years.
Yeah.
You know? And finally, there's just a couple I just peeled the stickers off.
Nice.
You know what?
That's me.
I need to feel better about myself.
Oh, see,
I've
you're
never
the
been able to
person.
get it to, like,
You're the
one
person I
solid
give
size,
the
yeah.
solid colored cube to. I found one that was made out of colored plastics,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's really elastic, so you can kind of get your anger out of a cube. And I just give that to people. They can't even. If you don't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube, like there's a method to every single one of them. I don't even give you. I won't give you my 4-sided pyramid. I won't give you my 2x2x2. That one's tiny, and it's the most upsetting to watch. Like I gave it to someone because I was like solving my 3x3 in math class, and then I just looked over, and this dude was like,
It's like, what?
he's like, oh my god, because I what was my time? I had like 1:53 was like my fastest time in high school.
Wow.
ADHD. I had nothing better to do, right? And so I like just tossed him my 2x2. I scrambled it, which is like 3 moves, and it's scrambled. I like slid it to him. I didn't know that I murdered a man when I did that. I had no intention. I handed him a grenade without the pin, and it just went off. He moved every single face. He swore to me that he was there, and then I'd flip it over, and he was completely backwards on the other side. He was like, "How? There's not that many pieces. How? Ah!" Yeah, I had no idea that I just absolutely bamboozled that boy. So I just hand people the one that's like you can't
the
break
fidget
it.
cubes that actually have like different like buttons
Yes.
and little spinners on them.
Get you a TV remote. Pull the batteries out. Ooh.
No, it has buttons and spinners and like little knobs that you go like.
Yeah. There's like clickers and like
Yeah, it's
things.
not just
so
buttons.
fun. So fun.
But
Mm.
it yeah. Maybe I do one of those.
That would be a good one.
Jeez.
I mean, if like Benny was here, I would just be like,
Or you could get
But-
hooked on ketamine.
Oh.
no.
All right, never mind.
It's too late. No.
Carly says that, running us back onto topic, Carly on the chat, she says, I like the course readings for the purpose of taking notes because my teachers fly past slides. Is anyone else, everyone familiar with
Yeah.
the, I didn't prepare my lecture properly, so I'm going to go through all the information at once, Professor?
Yes.
Yes.
Or some people just talk so fast and they still have so much to talk about when you're like, it's 10:50, sir. I'm done.
Yeah.
Please.
That is a bad thing about Zoom because they're like, oh, well, they're at home. And then they can just keep going and going.
Yeah, I'm like, no,
and
you
it's
still have
like,
class time.
I still have
Hey,
another class.
Hey, I got
you know?
work and another class. I still haven't eaten for today. They're like, well, you can go and then just catch up on the recording.
Like, no.
At a certain
class when you
at a certain point, give me all of your teaching books, and then I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, online classes with
Mhm.
asynchronous is basically just like that.
It's pretty similar. I haven't gone as full on. I think I mentioned this like early on when we had everything announced. I haven't gotten this far, but I'm gonna do laundry tonight. I think I'm gonna rewatch one of my classes while doing it because it's an app. Laundry takes like 2 hours, so you can't really be doing anything during the time that it takes. But that's enough to like get ahead on a bunch of things. So at a certain level, you can just kind of like get it done.
Yeah.
I find this interesting that like a couple of years ago we started having places like lynda.com and Masterclass, all of those. Y'all have seen those advertisements on YouTube and whatnot, and now all of a sudden colleges just are that. I know it's gone like a weird roundabout way to get to there, but something interesting I think is if we continue to stay in Zoom, it would make sense to like actually produce like us version of produce those lessons and those episodes into modules and structures, and then all you have as a professor, like I think this would make perfect sense, is like do all the work over the summer, record everything ahead of time, get your scripts figured out, everything that you want to do, all of your examples, then you get it down to a half-hour video. Pull off of the video. So, all right, everybody, these are all of the notes here. This is everything. Now, any questions? We just go from there. You can revisit examples and stuff like that, because you're still paying to interact with a professor to teach you the stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying go full in on, like... No interaction whatsoever. That would be stinky. Rather, you get this idea of, like, oh, this is the stuff that's redundant. You can watch this at any time. You just have to watch it before lecture. Things of that nature, where it's like you can watch it during lecture effectively, really, because it's just information. I mean, if you think about it, that's the exact same thing as professors who give you like readings that you need to get done before class. You know what I mean? It's like you got to get chapter 1 read by before then. We do it a lot in like STEM programs. Yeah. It's like you need to know the words I'm using before you get in there.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
I just think it would make a lot of sense, like, and at a level of efficiency.
And there is stuff like that, like Khan Academy does that.
Yeah.
You have to, like, contact them if you have any questions. But I think that's really cool. It's what I used as, like, kind of an assistant when I was doing my virtual school in high school.
I know a lot of people use it for their math program.
They also have, like, GED stuff and...
Yeah, they do as well. I know that a lot of people use the Khan Academy specifically for their math program.
Yes.
That was one thing that, like, I know a lot of people struggle. I know a lot of people in high school and growing up really struggle with math versus like more creative fields. I completely get it. I was always pretty alright at math, but I totally see, looking at how some people teach math, that you could be like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? I mean, why do we have 3 pencils over here? What are we doing?
And it's not just math, but it is everything, and you can, like, pick out specific topics that would be more difficult for you, where, like, you could kind of apply that into coursework where you test out of some of it that you already know, or that you can do just by the course readings, and then have that extra, like, video aspect that can be, okay, I'm really struggling with this, here's the video, and then, like, maybe he has office hours afterwards.
I have a quick speculation-style question for the audience.
Okay.
and the panel, of course. Do y'all still think that the, like, stereotypical, I want to fail a certain number of students exists?
I don't know. I don't think... Does anyone really, like, want to fail people?
I didn't realize that was a thing.
Okay,
it's like a very cliche...
I mean, I had a professor like that, but he was fired, so...
Right.
I think that if you're teaching and your intent is to fail a certain percentage, then that's not okay, because you're assuming that there is a certain percentage that needs to fit, you know? Like,
it just reflects badly on you as a professor. Like, when so many of your students fail, then it's probably not their fault.
I think there's a point when you're a professor that you have to say, okay, if everyone's passing this with flying colors, maybe it is just the teaching, or maybe we do need to make it a little more difficult or more complex and deeper into whatever the subject is, where you need to kind of do that. But I don't think your goal should have your students fail. Your goal should be to teach them what they need to know when they get out. And I don't mean when they get out into the real world, but like as in when they go to their specific career field.
The real world professors.
What they need to know.
Well, also, like, I think a lot of teachers that I've had, they look at it as like a case by case, like a certain class. Okay, this class as a whole is just like a little bit more advanced than the average, so I'm going to challenge them a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that.
And then like if the class is struggling, then they still keep that foundation of what they absolutely need, but they're not gonna give them extremely challenging things because they're not ever gonna be able to achieve that. You know,
right?
So.
I mean, and of course there's always like the whole curve situation that you always have. I know I took a particular class where the highest exam grade in the entire semester was like a 59. So
do y'all know,
people passed,
have any of y'all taken a physics course on campus before?
No.
For most of the tests, and I can't speak for every single professor because I've been here long enough that there's been a few different ways it's been done. But I know that on the majority of it, if you get certain professors, it is, if you get a 50, you get an A. Because the problems are so complex, everything is so time consuming. And you gotta be down to the 0.01, and you gotta be down to the 100th place on every decimal.
That's like calculus. Like yeah, like the problems, you'll have like 2 problems.
Yep, 2 problems
and
a page.
Every little step of it is worth points, so you could totally get the wrong answer but still get a good grade.
There's another part of it though. It's like you don't have to get a 50 as in you got like you only were able to finish half of the problems. I have multiple times, I made it all the way through like most of the physics and calculus courses for my engineering stuff. There were times where you had the completely wrong answer. Like, so absolutely painstakingly wrong. And you get, like, an 80 on the problem.
Because you, like, did the system correctly.
You get your test back, and then I'd go over to my professor, I'd be like, hey, I want to know why I got this wrong. And he says, alright, walk me through all your steps. And I'm like, okay, so here's the deal. I saw we had this problem here. I recognized it to have this smaller problem inside of it that I know a shortcut to solve. So I pulled that part out of it. Then I took this part here and I applied this function that we were shown in this formula here, this modification, blah, 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 steps A through Z. And then down at the very end, he was like, and you forgot your minus sign. Go ahead, 89. And I was like, oh, yes. Because you'd come out of those tests with like 60s, 50s, 30s. Yeah. Then you'd walk in and get another 60 points so easily because you just show him what you know, how far the process, and he's like, okay, you forgot to finish making your fraction, or you showed it in decimal. I wasn't looking at decimal. You're fine.
Yeah, like you accidentally leave something out of the bracket.
Yeah,
and it completely changes the whole thing.
Right.
But you did it right. Like sometimes you'd even get points for like continuing the steps, but with that, like say it's like one higher or lower number that you used in the like in the other parts of the problem, and then you could get credit for those just because like you did the problem right, but you messed up on one tiny little number.
Yeah. So there's like very, very strange when it comes to like grading, very, very a lot of different things. And now I'm in business, which is all definitions. I took a test last night, and I didn't do super great on it. I absolutely demolished the math portion, because it's all, microeconomics is mostly like supply and demand, and learning every single facet of that one graph. Like, literally, I could explain to you the tax breakdown for anything now. It's a very powerful tool. I didn't even know. It's so cool. But I really like math. But then aside from that, there's a level of, like, elasticity. And I was like, what? Like, how stretchy something is? And they're like, no, it's the willingness of the consumer to purchase something at a higher price or a lower price. And something is inelastic. Is it unit elastic? And I was like, I don't know. Dude. I didn't know I had to memorize things.
Yes.
It's very different. Very different.
You know what's great about wearing the mask, though? Is that all of
you hide all your notes in
your
there?
breakouts from midterm stress.
Oh yeah.
Hide them. I'm so broken out.
Oh my gosh, I'm just broken out because of the mask.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's not
the sweat.
Yeah,
but I don't have to wear makeup. Just cover my pimples.
This is true.
Right, because
I let them breathe.
Your pimps.
They nicknamed it Mask Acne. It's Maskne.
Maskne.
All the YouTubers talk about Maskne.
Yeah.
And on like Etsy and stuff, but like buy the silk mask to help with your acne.
I mean, does that still work the way it's supposed to?
No.
Yeah,
Not at all.
Silk, you just have to line it a few times. You can't just have like single.
Well, then you're right back to your sweating problem.
Well, especially in Texas, man.
Silk
it's
cannot,
still hot.
Silk can't hold bacteria.
Oh.
It's kind of a vicious cycle, though. You get acne because of the mask, and you can't get rid of it, you know?
Because you can't take off the mask. And
Right.
Yeah.
It's like me with bangs when I was a kid.
Oh.
The drink?
Yeah.
Just absolutely
decimates.
decimates.
Your hair bangs.
Yeah, you cover up the acne, but then like
It
the
makes
oil
your
stuff
oil
makes
worse.
your natural oil from your hair makes you
Is that
break
why
out more.
bangs would like become a thing?
I mean, that's why I did it a long time ago.
I
When I was
just
a
liked the
kid.
way it looked, but then I started to get acne.
Yeah,
so I was like,
couldn't get rid of it. Yeah.
Until you like let it breathe, and you're like,
Yeah.
well, I guess I'm showing
I feel like
everyone.
that was part of the reason why the outrageous like long side part
Yes.
from
Like, whoosh.
I was like in
Yeah.
6th grade when that was such a big deal. It's like, well, because you kind of had acne all over here, because that was right when
I always
kinda
get it to my
into-
glasses right in here,
Oh yeah,
right in there.
I definitely have a lot right here, just from the mask. Like,
Yeah,
right around my
it's
chin.
on chin and like right here
So
in front
annoying.
end of my nose.
Mine accumulates like right under my nose. I guess it's like where my humid breath.
Human breath.
Human breath.
My human
As
breath.
opposed to your reptile breath.
Exactly, my humid breath just makes me sweat right there.
Oh yeah, definitely. I gotta let lip sweat. Yeah, I'm gonna take my mask off someday and go, whoa.
Whoa.
Who is this?
Need
Actually,
some
who is
curology.
this person?
Yeah, going back to our article, like, wow, Taylor, I forgot how you looked. You're like,
Wow.
no, I've changed.
Yeah.
I'm a different human.
Yeah.
No longer
Yeah.
human.
Yeah.
I'm sorry y'all are having such a bad time.
It's okay. You can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sounds like there's a lot of pain hiding behind those
Just have to
things.
keep our secret.
Now I'm like, I don't want to take it off even when I'm like...
Yeah.
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 Like when you're eating, you're like,
Yeah, I'm like,
What?
oh man, I wish I could eat
Yeah,
with this thing
that's
on.
tedious.
Because I'm ugly. Just kidding, you're not ugly.
no.
I feel personally. Like,
I understand. I completely understand.
yeah.
I've struggled with it since like 5th grade.
Yeah, when is that supposed to go away? Because like it's
Acne?
supposed to like
Supposedly,
go away at some
like
point.
early
See,
20, like 20. Like
well,
supposed to be gone.
I'm about to turn 22 and it
I
is
know.
not gone.
Same.
I have
Same.
never like had problems at all until like just recently. It's just like boop,
Yeah.
all there, and I'm like, I don't know how to deal with
Yeah,
this.
but I guess at 20 you're supposed to actually, start taking care of yourself better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I missed the
Maybe,
mark.
maybe there's
Stop
a.
drinking all the Cokes and eating all the fast food.
Dude, I
Yeah.
like don't have soda. I have like a very detailed skincare routine.
I actually have to be
I do
really
all of
careful
it. I
with,
still
like,
struggle.
that event next year. I'm really trying to get better.
Yeah.
How to do it. Yeah.
Actually can't relate.
Nice.
That
I
must
own-
get acne.
Wonderful.
I get acne and then like pop
Hairs.
it next week there's a hair there. That's how it works. Every single hair on my face I've popped it. Was a pimple at some point. It's like the pore activates, oil fills them, bop. I have a lot of blackheads on my nose. I'm gonna have an old strawberry grandpa nose. But that's cool.
Why do you think that's cool?
Yeah.
Whatever you're
I have the
into.
same issue. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
why do you think that's cool? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I always wanted to get one of those like,
Ooh,
you know,
Suction.
Ooh,
do they work?
I
Do you have one?
I don't have the suction. I've heard it's bad. I got this little tool from Japan. It's from Japan, and it's the little ultrasonic vibrating thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a scraper.
Oh, okay.
But the scraper part vibrates at this like super fast speed. So it takes your pores and like opens it.
Does it work?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I was having like a bad like hormonal breakout and I gave it a go and like the next 2 days, poof, it was gone. Yeah.
Oh.
It's amazing. It was so good. Like I got the strawberry happening on my nose.
Mm-hmm.
I just ran on top and it was clear crystal. Like it was all cleaned out and then I have this primer from Elf called Poreless Primer. And you put it on top.
Yes, I just bought that.
It's so good. I swore
like
by
that.
it. It was so good. So when I put it on my pores, it like makes them go away. So I use my Japanese tool and then I put the elf stuff
You gotta
on.
send me a link to that or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's really not that expensive. It's so good. Oh god.
Ethan's over there like,
Yeah.
this is definitely gonna happen.
That's what happens when you invite 3 girls on your
Hey,
panel.
skincare.
This has literally never happened before,
Skincare
and
for
I work with
any
only
person
exclusively
of any gender.
females.
Hey, skincare is important
For any
everybody.
person of
Yeah,
any gender,
true.
please take care of your skin.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's the biggest
I'm
organ
trying.
on your entire body.
Yes.
There you go.
It was.
Thank
for
you.
joining
Yeah.
our-
Thank you for that
Yeah.
that 11-minute PSA on
On
skincare
skincare.
and
Yeah.
strawberry noses and Japanese
Yeah.
things.
Drink water.
Drink water.
Water. You're supposed to have a gallon a
I'm
day.
Yeah.
To like get one of those.
A gallon a
motivational
day
bottles,
just for...
But you can't find them like in store anywhere. You
Just
gotta,
buy a
like,
mason
order
jar.
Yeah.
Mason jar.
Yes.
It's not big enough.
There's like on Etsy.
Refill
they have a-
it! What?
No, it's supposed to be like those big motivational, like, you can do it.
yeah,
You're
and
way
it's
there.
like a gallon.
It's so cute. I want one. They're so cute.
Buy some milk.
I despise milk.
But it's not cute.
Get a gallon.
Yes,
jug.
it is.
Carry around
And a
gallon.
Sharpie.
What am I gonna
Yeah.
do with that milk? Just pour it down the drain? No.
No,
Turn it into cheese.
A lot of cereal.
drink it straight from the. jug.
No, don't listen to these two. Listen to
That's what I
me,
do.
Cole. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna get all of that milk. You're gonna get yourself some Parmesan cheese, old and aged. You're also gonna go get yourself a little bit of mozzarella because you know it's good. Then you're gonna make the absolute most fettuccine Alfredo in the entire world. You're gonna decimate like an entire population of chickens
Isn't
just
that
for
gonna make my
this.
skin bristle with all that
Or we
oil?
buy
Oh,
a gallon
yeah.
of water instead of milk.
And then you eat it for the next month.
You're right.
Doesn't milk cause people to have acne?
Yeah,
That's
it
what I
can.
was about
Yeah.
to say.
It can.
That you're like
is it the
before certain
lactose or-
like events that you don't want to like when you want to have like nice pictures and stuff. You
Have some
like
almond
are
milk.
supposed to cut out dairy for like the 3 weeks before that.
I realized I actually very recently
Very hard.
discovered that I am lactose intolerant. Learned that the hard way.
Oh, no.
But I am. And it's kind of like a new thing. So I've been cutting out like anything with lactose and a lot of just dairy products just to like be safe.
Yeah.
And my skincare has like, it's gotten better. Like my skin, it's not perfect, but it's gotten a lot better. So I bet it
I
does
don't know
have
if I
something
could
to do
cut
with
out
it.
dairy for like.
Oh.
It's hard.
I like cheese. I like.
It's
cheese.
good. Yeah.
I've been trying to go vegan. It's just so hard. Oh, I love
You
hamburgers.
gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with some of the vegan products. Though, 'cause
I
they're actually
love
hurting the environment.
hamburgers. That's what's keeping you from vegan. Is
Yeah.
Make sure you know where vegan stuff comes from. And
Grow it
if
yourself.
It actually ends up hurting the environment.
Yes.
grow it yourself.
All organic.
Start with a bundle of worms.
No.
Buy yourself a tilapia.
What?
Not a finished tilapia,
just
but
gonna
a
eat
fresh
dirt.
baby tilapia.
Eat dirt.
Basically,
Yeah.
you get the worms.
It's organic.
The worms are your composters, and then all of that
Anything
soil,
with carbon is organic.
that soil's
I always
thrown down on
That
the
is a
stuff.
silly concept. to me.
No, but it's
like,
a buzzword, so they put it
Yeah.
on product labels.
This
What's
is
up?
organic. Like
Everything that
okay.
has carbon is organic.
Yeah, it's
So-
really
Yeah,
Everything's
everything's organic.
like my carbon steel knife. I call him Fred.
The first thing I thought of was like, you know, like is it Nickelodeon with Fred?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
You know what I'm
Okay.
The old
He
YouTube
knows
star?
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking iCarly.
I grew up
Fred.
without cable. I'm the wrong person for you to look out for confirmation.
Okay,
I grew up
you got
without
me.
cable.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
yeah.
have no Disney Channel,
Oh,
no
wow.
SpongeBob.
Is that what causes a person to end up like you?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, it's
That's rough.
tragic.
That's rough.
The only time I got it was when I'd hang out with my friends and they'd have it on TV. I'm like, oh, yes, like I can be cultured today. Yeah, I know just enough SpongeBob quotes in the theme song to get by and trick people into thinking that I grew up with it, so that way I'm like
All the
accepted.
all the
But-
online memes probably help. The resurgence of
it really did.
SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't know that was your deep dark secret. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
No cable.
Thank you for being vulnerable in the space.
It was so hard.
I'm really glad that I was able to sort of nurture an area for you to just share. Anyone else have any large proclamations they want to share?
They're not letting people take to-go boxes in D-Hall anymore.
What?
What?
Yeah, so you know how they used to have like the green boxes that
Yeah.
you could take it to
I
go?
saw some.
Well, those are still in existence, but when
They
the
exist.
when the semester
must hunt them.
started, all you had to do was swipe in for food, and if you wanted to take it to go so you didn't have to sit in, you could just get one of those like styrofoam ones and didn't have to pay for the green box. But now they are nixing all the styrofoam ones, so you have to buy the green box.
That's probably good.
Oh, it's weird that you have to buy it.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings because yes, it'd be better for like environmental reasons and stuff to reuse the green boxes, because they're plastic and they get washed and you get a token.
Why can't you just like check it out? Like you swipe. So,
Yeah,
like,
but you have to buy it. That's the thing.
Every time?
I know this is like maybe a weird thing to say, but do you ever feel like the university is like price gouging us? Okay, like a sandwich for $5. Like, what if I couldn't go anywhere else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything. A water in one of the...
It's like $3.
Bro, water is expensive.
$3 out of what are the machines, you know?
They wonder what college kids are.
I'm like,
Rissa, you can continue this, but if I get a phone call, we're shutting everything down immediately.
I'm just saying, I was thinking about it the other day. Like, I was going to get a water, and like $3 for a water out of a vending machine.
Yeah.
Like,
Fun fact, did you know it's not illegal to collect rainwater?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Nope.
Texas.
Only in one state.
Wait.
There's only one state it's illegal to collect rainwater.
Why is it illegal?
Huh?
Why would it be illegal?
For, like, breeding mosquitoes and whatnot. They've only made it illegal in one singular state because the rainwater collected can just, like, really mess up a bunch of people. Because, like, flies and stuff that live in them. But if you already have, like, ponds and lakes, that's no different.
Yeah.
Texas, totally legal to collect rainwater. People don't like it because you're not paying the water company anymore.
My parents did, and they would just water like their plants and like dogs and stuff.
Yeah, just get a big get a big blue bucket connected to your rain gutter, and then actually clean your rain gutter.
Yeah, I like to stick like mason jars outside. Like whenever it rains, and then I'll water my plants with it.
Yeah, I do that too.
I am a fiend for glass and ceramic drink and eatware. Love the stuff.
Y'all ever made sun tea?
No.
Yes.
I love it.
It's so good.
It's the best. I used to make it with my grandma in like giant mason jars. Yeah.
It's so fun. I remember my mom did that when I was a kid. It blew my mind.
Yeah, it tastes so good, especially in Texas. Like, it's the best place to make it.
You're gonna have to explain sun tea. We're gonna have to get you on next week because we did just run out of time.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I know.
Rip sun tea.
I was expecting a lot different conversation out of the notes that I had prepared in the topics. Was not gonna shotgun skincare routine and like take care of yourself talk and then immediately flip it into corporations are evil and they price gouge us. Collect rainwater. I was really looking at like masks affecting your thoughts on how people look and like how do you judge people at a distance, that sort of conversation. Maybe I should have grabbed Jake.
Yeah.
So
you got skincare and tea with us.
Yeah, I got skincare and tea. So that must be that's my fault. Oh, and apparently it's because I brought in 3 girls.
Yeah.
How dare you, Taylor?
I think we're pretty interesting.
How dare you? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you put it all up to being the feminist of the podcast.
Okay. Ethan's the real issue.
To my how to identify misogyny and how to react to it podcast.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let me pull up the ending script so we can get everyone out of here because we still have other things we have to work on. I edited it this time. See if you can catch the difference. Listeners, viewers, we come to a close on this here episode. If you showed up late or wish to revisit us, you can find this show on our YouTube channel at Tarleton Radio as a video, or you can listen in on iTunes, Spotify, or anywhere you get podcasts. Just look up Cruisin The Planet. For updates about the show and other interesting things we make here at the station, follow on all of our links in the description. This has been your episode of Cruisin The Planet, where you can find something to do in and around Stephenville every week. Don't forget, Brazos Drive-In. If you've enjoyed the show, don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you have any questions or suggestions, ask them in the comments, or as a review of the show if you happen to be able to do that. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.